Hello and welcome to this video on how API keys are used to connect artificial trade bots to banks. In this video, we'll be discussing what API keys are, how they are used to connect trade bots to banks, and the steps involved in the process. We'll also be discussing the differences between connecting a trade bot to a cryptocurrency exchange versus a bank. But before we dive into all of that, let's start by defining what an API key is. An API key, or Application Programming Interface Key, is a unique string of characters that is used to identify an application or service when making API calls. API keys are often used to access specific features or data of a platform or service, and they are usually paired with a secret key, which is a confidential string of characters that is used to authenticate and authorize access to the API. Now, let's talk about how API keys are used to connect trade bots to banks. Trade bots, also known as trading bots, are artificial intelligence programs that are designed to buy and sell assets automatically. These bots use algorithms to analyze market data and make trades based on predefined rules. One way to use trade bots is to connect them to a bank or financial institution. This allows the trade bot to access real-time market data and make trades on behalf of the user. In order to connect a trade bot to a bank, you will need to obtain an API key from the bank and use it to authenticate the connection. So, how do you go about obtaining an API key from a bank? The process will vary depending on the bank and the type of API key you need. Some banks may have a self-service portal where you can request an API key, while others may require you to contact them directly. In either case, you will likely need to provide some information, such as your name, contact information, and the purpose of the API key. Once you have obtained an API key from the bank, you can use it to connect your trade bot to the bank's API. This typically involves entering the API key into the trade bot settings and configuring any other necessary parameters, such as the type of assets you want the bot to trade and the trading strategies you want it to use. It's important to note that not all banks offer API access for trade bots, and those that do may have specific requirements or limitations. For example, some banks may only allow API access for certain types of accounts or may require you to complete additional authentication steps. It's a good idea to carefully review the bank's API documentation and terms of service before connecting your trade bot. Now, let's compare connecting a trade bot to a bank versus a cryptocurrency exchange. One main difference is that many banks do not offer API access for trade bots, while most cryptocurrency exchanges do. This means that it may be easier to find a cryptocurrency exchange that supports trade bot integration. Another difference is that banks typically have more stringent security requirements and may require additional authentication steps, such as two-factor authentication, 2FA. Cryptocurrency exchanges may also have security measures in place, but they may be less strict than those of banks. Overall, API keys are an important tool for connecting trade bots to banks and other financial institutions. By obtaining an API key and using it to authenticate the connection, you can access real-time market data and make trades on behalf of your user. Just be sure to carefully review the bank's API documentation and terms of service before connecting your trade bot. Thank you for watching this video on how API keys are used to connect trade bots to banks. I hope you found it informative and helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below. Please like and subscribe if you find this information valuable.